Hello and welcome to another Z.E.D video. Have my skull here just to show you that it's pretty much appropriately sized for a adult human skull. Mine may be a little bigger, we don't know because it got flesh and hair and everything on it. But this I would say is right in the normal range of a human skull size, I would say. Not the main topic of this video, but wanted to put that out there. The topic of this video really is the zombie virus itself. Well, quote-unquote virus. We don't know if it's truly a virus. It could be bacterial, it could be parasitic, it could be something else. But the term virus is a pop culture term for zombie contagion. Games, movies, and books have kind of coined the phrase for us. So when you say a zombie virus, people know what you're talking about. So I'm going to refer to it as either a zombie virus or contagion in this video. I'm going to be glancing down at my phone a bit to make sure we don't run over time, using it kind of as a timer. So, like I said, we don't know if it's a virus, bacterial, parasitic, or something else. But we do know that it's an aggressive contagion. Basically, it attacks your body in full force, hits you like a really bad flu. You get dizziness, nausea, vomiting, flu-like symptoms, fever. You may even get delirious and dementia in the later stages. Overall, it's not good. And it can be cause for alarm, especially if a zombie outbreak is picking up pace. Anybody with the sniffles or a cough could be suspect. I'm not saying they would be suspect, but the paranoia of people would be kicking in, and that could happen. But basically, what we do know is that it's an aggressive contagion, and once it takes root in somebody, basically infects somebody, they're guaranteed to, basically, it's guaranteed to be fatal. There is no documentation of anybody being immune to it thus far. But it is known that it is fatal, pretty much on 100% of the time. You can't really prolong it. Modern science and medicine can not really prolong life with it. It can do its best, and it can keep other outside influences like your body's battling the zombie virus. Modern medicine can keep the common cold, regular flu, and stuff like that from also hitting you. But other than that, it can't really delay the zombie virus itself. How long it takes to kill off his victim for the first time is not clear. It's not a set amount of time. It can be fairly quick. It can take some time. But once the person ceases all normal human functions and is pretty much clinically dead, that's when the zombie virus really comes into its own, because it's there that it takes root, we believe, either not so much physically, but in the sense of it getting ready to do what it does, and from there it jump-starts the brain again, and not the entire brain, enough to get it moving. It gets your motor functions up to a certain standard, so you can move around, grab at things, bite things, walk. It kicks in the senses, provided your senses worked in the host body. So if the host was blind, still gonna be blind. But as long as those senses work, we know zombies can hear, and we pretty much know they can see based on some studies. Scent isn't so clear. We don't really know if they can smell, but certain tests kind of lead to maybe they can, but it's not fully known. We do know they can see and hear, though. So that's kicked in, and for a reason that can't be explained just yet, the need to feed, which makes the zombie so dangerous. The overwhelming need to constantly devour. That, plus the movement, plus the senses, is all that comes back once the virus kickstarts the brain. So that's what we know so far. We also know that there is no known cure for the zombie virus, and in fact, once a person transforms fully into a zombie, there is no going back. There is no way to revert that process. it's essentially, for lack of a better term, a walking corpse, the walking dead. So, the undead, if you will. There is no way to revert that. If a cure were to exist, which it does not so far, it would be administered upon initial infection, and the quicker you can administer it, the better your chances would be. So, any pharmaceutical company that would discover a cure or engineer a cure would find it very profitable for them. So that's what we know about that. We also know that there are some limited tests done on zombification and other animal species, and from all the tests, it's come back as a negative, meaning it can't jump species. It can infect, but it does not turn them into a zombie. So there's no zombie dogs, birds, or anything like that. No zombie bears to worry about. It just kills off the animal. It just proves fatal. And all flesh that anything you want to eat off the animal will be contaminated. So no need to worry about a zombie chimp or a zombie bear, tiger, whatever. They will just die. And of course, you cannot eat that meat because it's all contaminated. There's no hypothesis on if it could mutate in the future to affect animals, since we do not know exactly what it is. So, while that possibility is not out the window, we cannot say certainly yes or no just yet. But as it stands, it won't infect other animal species to become a zombie. It will just be fatal upon being administered to them or infected by it. So that being said, the only known way to avoid zombification is to not be infected. Don't get bitten, don't get scratched really, and don't come into contact with contaminated fluid or flesh. And the only known way to stop a zombie is in the head. Since the brain is the only part that's kickstarted again, destruction of the brain pretty much destroys the zombie. That's why body shots, limb shots don't do much except potentially slow down the zombie and become a waste of energy or a waste of ammunition. They don't bleed out as much because the circulatory system is pretty much stagnant. There's no real respiratory system, or no real need for a respiratory system at this point, which is why you can't really drown them. But because the body is not turned on, it's just pretty much moving, there's nothing going on, zombies cannot heal, and zombies slowly degrade. It's not something you can really wait out with any real success without having a heavy supply of food and whatnot. But any wounds that happen will stay wounded, they won't heal, and in fact, the more strain we put on our muscles and stuff, they tear and they get repaired. That doesn't happen in a zombie. So those are things to keep in mind. That's all I wanted to say here, the very basics of what we at the Z.E.D know about the zombie virus, or a better word would be contagion. So it's important that we impart that knowledge upon as many people who would view this as possible. So take with that what you will. Remember, don't be afraid. We're not fear-monger here. We just need to really know what we're up against. What we're up against is a truly insidious contagion. Not only does it rapidly degrade you, but it pretty much utilizes your body as a host for it to get up and move, which is why we don't know what it is. It has parasitic tendencies, it has viral tendencies, bacterial tendencies. We don't really know what it is just yet. But what we do know is that it does transmit, and you do need to be in some contact with infected fluid or infected flesh. So scratching at you, biting you, that would be the quickest and easiest ways to be infected with the virus. So remember the information. Don't forget it, and take with that what you will. Prepare accordingly. Check out our other videos for preparing and videos that will be coming, and we will touch back on this topic in the future, but it's important to get that information out there now. So Until next time, be safe, be prepared, and take care.